Hey ladies, welcome back to today's video. So today we are going to be talking about how life gets to be easy. You get to be in easy mode. My word since the end of last year has been ease. And honestly, that's probably going to be my word for as long as I feel like it needs to be, because what I've realized is that there's nothing better than being at ease in your mind, ease in your body, just having complete ease in life and having that freedom, that internal freedom that gives you ease. And so this is something so important that I want to bring, because I feel like as women, as moms, we believe that life has to be hard. Life has to be hard for it to have some true meaning behind it, because we learn so much that, oh, if it's really meant to be, then you have to work hard on it. If it's worth something, then it's hard work. It has to be hard for it to get easy. And I reject that belief, because I've worked hard on things in my life, worked so hard on things. And to be honest, not that it never paid off a little bit, but it caused a lot of burnout. It caused a lot of uneasiness within my body and in my mind. It caused a lot of anxiousness. It caused a lot of just struggling and relationships struggling and just feeling like, is this all that life has to offer? This cannot be it. Like, does it have to be this hard? And I finally got to a point in my life within this last year where I truly, from the bottom of my heart, reject that belief. Even still, when it feels a little bit hard, I reject that. And I want you to learn how to reject that as well. Life does not have to be hard. That is a belief that we've internalized so deeply that we believe it has to be hard. Life does not have to be hard. It gets to be easy. And in this video, I want to show you some ways that you can begin making your life easy, because it's available to you. It does not have to be hard. It doesn't. One thing that scares me, I don't even want to say scares me, because I know that that's not going to be me, but you see people in daily life. You see women who are 40, 50, 60, even in their 30s, right? I count to women on a daily basis. And you can see the women who it just feels like life has been hard for them. You can see it. You can see it in their eyes. You can see it in their mannerism. You can see it in how they're walking, especially as they get older. You can just see it on a daily basis when you start becoming aware of what it looks like to be living a rough internal life that translates to externally, and how it wears and tears on your physicality, how it wears and tears on your mindset, and just a lot of things. And so I don't want that for me. I don't want that for you. I don't want, what's that term? Don't want to look like what you've been through. We don't want none of that, okay? So let's go ahead and get right into it. I know that was a long intro, but I just really wanted you to see why this episode is so important, why this video is so important. So, how can you begin to put your life on easy mode? So, first thing, number one, that you can do to begin putting your life on easy mode, and this is a simple thing to do: delegation. So we always feel like we have to do things by ourselves. For me, I started doing a lot of things by myself because I seen how hard it was for, family members of mine, women in my life. And I made a commitment to myself that I will never be dependent, that I will be super independent, that everything I get, I have to get for myself. I'm not going to ask anybody for anything and all of that. And that created in me that I have to do everything by myself. But as I decided that no, my life gets to be easier, what are some ways that we can delegate? So here are some simple things that you can potentially delegate in your life. So things like doing laundry. Can you drop it off at a laundry service so that they can fold your clothes, especially if you have children? And that can just be a hassle, right? So can you drop off laundry? Can you get someone else to wash a car? Can you pay for a house cleaner? Getting your kids to wash the dishes versus you wash the dishes. There are so many simple ways that you can just delegate and give your time back. Give you time back to just really pour into yourself. There's so many ways that you can delegate to just make you feel like life is easier, that it doesn't have to be hard. We tend to make it hard for ourselves when we really don't need to. And a lot of times we have guilt with delegating because we feel like we should be doing it, but we shouldn't feel guilty. And I know that a lot of people, other people, can make you feel guilty when they're used to doing everything by themselves, but you do not have to feel guilty. Life does not have to be hard, it can be easy. Okay. So, number two, this has been a huge one with realizing that we make life hard for ourselves. And that is just so focused on the future and what it's going to be, what it may be like, what it may not be like. One thing that brings me back into getting out of that stress and making it just feel so hard, making life feel so stressful, is just bringing it back to the present. So, just being present and just allowing myself to say, I can't worry about that. All I can do is focus on today and what I can do today. Other than that, I can't control the future, but what I can do today is what I can do today. And that allows me to just bring a little bit more ease back into my mind, a little less anxiousness into my body, because I'm not stressing about what's not going to happen, or can this happen? Can this go wrong? Or will this work out? I've done that so many years, and I still do it to this day sometimes. But what brings me back into allow myself to feel at ease in my body is knowing that all I can control is today. And that's it. And so, what helps with that as well is releasing time constraints. So, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to that we have time limits for things to actually be. We have to have this in a certain time frame. We have to have this in a certain time frame. And let me tell you, I get the frustration. I get the frustration so much because when you come from a place where like you've never had a lot, you come from a place where you've seen people in your life having to work hard, and they're tired, right? You come from a place where like you are just so ready for life to just become everything that you want it to be, everything that you truly desire it to be, and yet it still feels sometimes so far away. I can get the frustration, right? I can get the frustration, but we don't know like the time frame that is supposed to come into fruition. All we can do is focus on what we can do today. Is what can I do today? What can I do today to, make my life feel good? What can I do today that can get me to that goal? What can I do today to pour into myself, to pour into my dreams, to pour into whatever it is that you want right now? That's all you can do, and release yourself from the time constraints that you boxed yourself into. Because yes, sometimes things are happening sooner for other people than it may be happening for you, but your timeline is different. And I understand 1000% the frustration. It is very frustrating to not know when it's going to be your time to, for things to just work out, for things to work out in your favor. We don't know. All we can control is today. And don't pile that type of hardship on yourself when It doesn't need to be. We create that. All we can focus on is today. And one thing that I do want to say is that when we do focus so much on the time constraint, and it creates so much anxiety and negativity and frustration and us, is actually distracting us from actually pouring good energy. It's distracting us from being creative. It's distracting us from all the good things that we can be doing to make our life easier that will probably get us there a little bit faster, instead of focusing on the things that are just hard and just not working out. Those are always just distractions. Okay. So the third way that you can begin making your life easier is building your confidence and your self-love. So I am all about this. If you listen to my podcast, Confidence Becomes You, I'm all about building confidence, because when you begin building confidence, you are going to build this inner knowing. You are building this inner self belief. You're building trust within yourself. And when you have trust in yourself, you know the thing that makes it hard is confusion. When you don't have clarity, when you have doubt, those are the things that make life hard. Confusion, doubt, and lack of clarity. All of these things, you need self belief, you need belief in general, belief in yourself, belief in God, trust in yourself, and clarity on where you are going, where you want to be, who is the person that you want to become. When you do not have these things, this is what makes life hard for you. This makes it tough for you. So focus on developing a strong sense of self belief in yourself, that trust in yourself, which is that self belief in yourself, getting clarity so you can not have any more confusion. When you do that, your confidence is going to go way up, and it's going to feel like life is easier, because one of the most painful feelings that I've ever experienced is not knowing what you want to do with your life, not having clarity on who you are, not having clarity on where you want to go in your life, and not having clarity on your purpose, why you're here. That is so painful. That is hard. And when I receive clarity on what I believe is to be my purpose, when I receive clarity on who I am, when I begin to start trusting myself and believing in myself, that's when I believe that life begins to get easier for me internally. The next one is self love. So, life is going to be hard when you don't love yourself. When you are increasing your self love and you're pouring love on yourself, it will begin to feel a lot easier for you. When you're hard on yourself, when you hate yourself, life feels hard. Life doesn't feel good. And so those two things is necessary to make life easier for you. It's not just about external ease. It is so much to do with internal ease. Make life easier for yourself by building that confidence and building that self love. Love yourself, talk kind to yourself, compassion with yourself, self forgiveness towards yourself, releasing yourself from shame, get rid of self hatred and resentment towards yourself. All of those things are processes. All of those things are journeys. However, it feels hard. Life feels hard when all of that is within you. But the more you begin to pour love on yourself on a daily basis and show up for yourself and do make commitments to yourself and actually stick to those commitments, honor your values, you're going to begin to respect yourself, and it's going to feel easier to be you. That's really what I want you to get from that part. It's going to be easier to be you. It's going to be easier to live with you, to live with the person that you are. That's how you're going to make life easier for yourself. One thing that I recommend doing, and I do this I would say at least 4 to 5 times a week, is to write down in your journal, or you can say it out loud when you're looking in a mirror. especially when things feel hard, or when you're not feeling at ease with yourself, is to write this out. You can say your name. I like to say my name, Clea. I love you so much because. So write out, I love you so much because what? Because you're an honest person, because you're this, because you're that. And do that on a daily basis, because it's going to be you just reminding yourself why you are lovable, why you deserve good things, why you deserve happiness, why you deserve peace of mind. It is so eye-opening when you're able to remind yourself of those things, of why you are lovable, and to make your life easier for yourself internally. Be at ease with living with yourself. Okay, so the fourth way that you can begin getting into easy mode, life gets to be easy for you, is get rid of limiting beliefs. And I know we all don't know all the limiting beliefs that we have. It is normal, right? We become aware of them when we become aware of them at the times we're supposed to become aware of them. Now, limited beliefs, how I like to define it, is anything that makes you feel restrictive, anything that makes you feel like you're stuck, that it makes you feel tight. It doesn't make you feel like you can go far. It makes you feel closed in and blocked in. That's a limiting belief, in my opinion. That is my definition of what a limiting belief is. So, we all have what we call like perceived constraints. We all have things where we're thinking, for example, I can't do this unless I do this. I can't have this unless I have this first, or I do this first. Those are perceived constraints. Anything, you can always quantum leap your life. What I love about studying quantum leaping is that it is about making your life easier. It's about making you understand and making you see that there's so many things that we can achieve in life. There's so many things that we can become in an easier way. There is always an easier way to get to the next level you. There is always an easier way to get to the destination that you are working to get to. There's always an easier way. The thing that blocks us a lot of times is those perceived constraints that we believe is there. And so, because we believe it's there, we don't stop to think of, okay, what is another way? What is actually an easier way that I can get to this destination? What is an easier path? There's always an easier path. And let me see if I can find an example about what I mean, an easier path. Okay, so one experience is this. I used to believe that in order to increase your income, you had to have certain job titles. You had to have spent many years in a certain field. I believe that you have to, like everyone says, you have to climb the corporate ladder or whatever it is. However, there was a point when I lost a job. I lost a job that I had because they downsized. And I was thinking, like, how am I going to increase my income? Like, I will have to stay in this field. I will have to, just consistently work in this field, and like it's normal to get like $5 increases, maybe $3 increases, $1 increase. So I was thinking that, but I knew that was never the desire of my heart. So what I did, I saw that as a perceived constraint. To me, that was a constraint that kept me restricted, that kept me blocked in. So what I did is decided, well, what's another way? Because I want to move, and I want to move back to New York, and I want to be able to live comfortably. So, what is another way that I can increase my income that doesn't make me have to stay in this position for years on end? What is another way? What I did was decide, okay, why don't I just change? Why don't I just go into another industry and translate my transferable skills? And that's what I did. And because I did that, I saw another way that opened my mind to there's always an easier way. And me doing that, what happened was I actually doubled my base income and tripled my on target earnings because I was also going to get commission. So I doubled my base within like 3 months and I tripled my on target earnings. So technically, at the end, I will be making triple the income versus what I was making just 3 months ago because I decided to say, this is perceived constraint. I don't want this. This doesn't feel good to me. It's boxing me in. What is outside the box? What is different that can make my life easier? It doesn't have to be hard. And to me, that was an easier path. So that opened my mind to question every belief. If you feel like you have to go one step, you don't have to always go one step into the next step. Sometimes you just have to open another door. Sometimes you have to just stop and think, what can I do differently that doesn't feel hard? That is actually an easy transition. What can you do? Another limiting beliefs that I want to share with you that I perceive to be a constraint was thinking that getting opportunities are hard. And a lot of it has to do with the internal workings of feeling overlooked, they're not important. Like you have to know people, you have to, do this and do that to receive opportunities that you really want. What shifted that limiting belief for me? And this is something that I'm teaching in my current course, Impact and Attract, is that actually receiving opportunities are easy. It is not hard work. What changed is that when I started creating content on confidence and self esteem, I started receiving like speaking engagements easy. I didn't have to work hard for it. I didn't have to work hard for it at all. When I reached out for like a sponsorship, it was an easy yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so easy. I always thought that this was hard. And what I realized that what made it easy is actually being a person of value, not being a value person, right? Because your value is already innate, but being a person that puts out value. When I realized that, it became so obvious to me why, when I look at all the people that I believe receive things easier, right? They receive opportunities easier. They receive just different things easier. What made me realize that is like, whoa, it's because these people were putting out value. They were people who took up space. They were people who shared their message, they shared their insight. And that blew my mind that actually, whoa, receiving opportunities is not hard. That was a perceived constraint. That is a limiting belief. Actually, receiving opportunities are easy. And so when you begin to become aware of certain limiting beliefs that you have, remember, if it feels restrictive, if it feels like you're blocked in, if it makes you feel stuck, it is a limiting belief. And every time you feel that way, I want you to just stop and say, what is an easier way? What is an easier way that I can actually get to this goal that I have? Because this one isn't it. This is keeping me stuck. There's always an easier way. In the book that I love, the book that I read on a weekly basis, You Square, I highly recommend it. He talks about doubting your limits. The sky is the limit. Always. We are limitless. Okay. So let's get into the fifth way that you can begin to make life easier for yourself. And this is really making it a priority to increase your finances, making bold moves to increase your finances. So, with that story that I just shared, when I realized that increasing your finances is actually easy, is not hard. Again, one that shifted that limiting belief for me, but it also made me feel more at ease internally. One of the biggest things why life tends to feel hard and why we as women tend to live a lot in survival mode is because of that anxiousness of, money being scarce, money being hard to get, money not being enough for us, is not being there for us, right? So that tends to create a lot of just uneasiness in life because we need finances. We need money to take care of our loved ones. We need money to take care of us. We need money to invest in us, our self care. We need money to pay for the home that we live in. We need money, right? Money is absolutely a priority, is a necessity, and you deserve to have infinite abundance of money, and it should never be limited. And so you've noticed that the people who have the most money, maybe internally, they probably have their own things. Not everybody is perfect, right? Everyone has their own inner demons and what they're going through, but life externally looks easier, right? When you have more financial freedom, you have more time to be in your creative power. And that is something that creates even more money. So the people who have money, they are able to give themselves that creative space to create more money. When you're in survival mode because you don't have enough money, you don't have that freedom of creating. It feels like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. When making money really is a form of the creativity that you put out in exchange for that value that you created. So, the people that have the most money, the reason why they're able to keep creating more money is because they have time. They get their time back. They can put money to pay for their time to be back towards them, that they are able to feel safe and at ease to create. In order to create from a powerful place, in order to create from a juicy place and a flowing place, we need to feel safe in our body. We need to feel at ease in our body. And money does that. Money creates that sense of ease and a sense of safety. And that is okay, right? That is okay to have money create a sense of safety in you, and allows you to create, it allows you to pour into making more money. So that's why when you see rich people who are able to be at ease, they walk slower. They walk slower, they talk slower, they take their time. They're at the beach chilling. They're not in survival mode. They're not moving all the time. They're not doing everything all the time. This creates that sense of ease in their life that is necessary for everybody and is available for everybody. This is why I'm so huge on entrepreneurship. No, you do not have to be an entrepreneur to create wealth. No, you do not have to be an entrepreneur to create time freedom, right? You can work for someone, or you can invest, you can have stocks, you can have other avenues that can give you more financial freedom. What I would say is this: being an entrepreneur, creating a business is one of the fastest ways to creating wealth, because when you are creating a business, when you are an entrepreneur, you are creating from your creativity. You're able to pour from that. You get more freedom over your time. And so, this is why entrepreneurship is such a huge thing to me. For women, for moms, I highly encourage entrepreneurship. I'm not saying to leave your job. I also work a full-time job. To me, why I feel like entrepreneurship is so, so, so important, and why it's important to put your life on easy mode, is because you will always be under the control of someone else when you work for somebody, period. You will always be timed. You will always be under their time. How much PTO they give you, how much time you have to work. You have to work 8 hours, you have to work 40 days, 40 hours a week. To me, time is so precious, right? Time is so precious. And to me, that's what makes life feel easier is when you have your time back. And when you get control of your time, to me, that's when life gets to feel a lot easier. So, entrepreneurship and being a business owner is one of the fastest ways to increasing your wealth because you are pouring from your creativity and you are pouring from your passion, from possibly your purpose, maybe not, but you are pouring from that and you get to create wealth that way and get your time back. I know there's a big stigma that, as an entrepreneur, you are working so many hours. And yes, that can be true. I've been an entrepreneur, but again, it gets to be easy. And I'm going to create an episode about that too for entrepreneurs. Like, entrepreneurship gets to be easy, it does not have to be hard. I lived that hard entrepreneurial hustle work life and I rejected. I reject it in the name of Jesus. I reject it. So it gets to be easy. All right. So the sixth way, I've already kind of touched on this a little bit, but increase your value. This is going to be such a crucial way to make your life more easier for yourself. The reason why, like, we feel like life is hard is because we don't feel like we're adding a lot of value. So, from my experience that I shared and from the observations that I studied and watch other people who I feel like often get things easier, what I realized is that the people that tends to get the most easiest thing have these certain qualities. One, as I already said, they provide insane value. And that is through either taking up space, right, with their message, with through from their personal experience, through their insight. When you increase the value you put out, money, your income is an exchange of value. The amount of value that you put into the marketplace is typically the amount of income that you receive. So whether that is in a business or even at a job, the amount of value that you put into that you offer the company is typically going to result in a higher pay or things just being handed to you a lot more easier. You get an easier yes. You get an easier yes, you can do this. Yes, you can do that. Things come to you more easier, right? You get the promotion easier when you are a person that provides insane value. So that is something that I highly recommend that you focus on, is not why does life have to be so hard for you, but no, actually, how can I increase the value that I put out? The second quality that I've realized that the people that tends to get the easiest things in life, where life gets to feel more easy for them, is communication skills. They have the ability to communicate with confidence. This is something that if you practice public speaking, if you practice just speaking in general, being able to communicate with confidence, one, people are going to trust you, and that's going to result in you getting an opportunity or something with ease. Even if there's people who don't know what the hell they're talking about, but if they can communicate that with confidence, guess what? They got something over you. You could have been better for the job, but because someone was able to communicate their skill set or communicate their experience in a more confident way than you, they got the job with ease over you. So, communicating with confidence is crucial. They have the ability to communicate the knowledge that they have, the vision to other people, and ideas. So, if you can develop your communication skills with being able to communicate the vision, as you see, like the people, the leaders of the world, they have this ability to communicate vision. They have this ability to communicate ideas. And with that being said, that it makes people get attracted connected to them easier. They get noticed more easy. And lastly, it is the ability to connect with other people easy. They have a connection that puts them there, that puts them here, is because they were able to connect with other people so much easier. They've been able to build this relationship and have this persona that people are drawn to them through their sense of communicating and being able to connect. That makes life easier for them. I used to get so annoyed by someone in my life where I just felt like, oh my gosh, you get things so easy. Like for me, it has to be hard. Like somebody just offers you a new job. How does that happen? And the difference was his ability to connect with people easy, his ability to make people like him. So when you have that ability to connect with other people and get them to like you just because of who you are and you being able to share your ideas and your vision and be able to hear people and to just bring out a different version of other people through your ability to communicate, that's that's when opportunities in life feel so much easier. Like you don't feel like you have to work so hard. The connection did that. It made it easy. And last but not least, the last way that I believe that you can begin to start putting your life on easy mode and make life easier for you is to really get into the practice of detachment. You ever heard people say, like, when you detach, you begin to attract? So, this is a real thing. And the reason why I believe it's a real thing is because what I've noticed is that when you are super attached to something, it creates this sense of desperation. And desperation is always going to repel. When you are super attached to something, it screams that your worth comes from this thing that you are attached to. It screams very insecure. It screams a lot of insecurities. So, for example, when you are really attached to someone, right? You're really attached to their validation. You're really attached to having to be in their presence. You're really attached to them. Oftentimes, that attachment is strongly caused by you not knowing who you are without them, you not knowing how to validate yourself. A lot of those attachments really is due to a lot of insecurity and the need to feel valuable and to feel worthy. When you are attached to a business or this idea of what success is, and this has been me, like I've been a person who's been very much attached to success, very much attached to just making it. And what that really did for me is what I noticed is that whenever I don't see things working out, it really makes me feel not worthy. It makes me question my worth and my value. And that is a tough line to cross. So when you practice detaching from something, it allows you to see that this is actually separate from you. Your worth is your worth. Your worth is innate, and it frees up a lot of internal, unnecessary feelings. And when you are detached from something, you are able to see things from another outlook. You know that if something maybe isn't working out, then it's not working out because you're not valuable or you're not deserving of it, but maybe it's not working out because you haven't developed a certain skill set or acquired a specific knowledge about something, or maybe that you haven't necessarily became the person that you need to be in order to receive the thing that you want to receive. But it doesn't have anything to do with your value, with your worth. And so that is something that I myself had to work on to free up that, to stop making things feel hard. And for me, it made things feel a little bit more easier when I allowed to say, you know what, let me detach this. Let me detach this from my worth. Let me detach this from my value, because life gets to be easy Life still gets to feel good, even if yet I haven't had this, even if yet I'm not getting maybe the validation, or even if the success is not happening the way I want it to happen right now. So, detachment is a beautiful way to learn how to start attracting, especially because as women, right? When you detach from something, you allow yourself to be more in a receiving mode instead of always doing. When we are super attached to something, we're always chasing it, we're always reaching for it, we're always doing, and we don't allow ourselves to just receive. And so that's what's going to help you be in more easy mode and make life feels just more easy, more lighthearted. When you're not in the constant survival attachment, going, doing. No, just allowing yourself to just be and detach from certain things that we perceive that we need. Life doesn't have to be hard. I truly believe from the bottom of my heart that life gets to be easy. And when you develop that internal belief that you believe this from your core, then guess what? Life is going to start being easy for you. It's going to start being a reflection of that internal belief. Life does not have to be hard, it gets to be easy. You get to live in easy mode, not saying that there's not things that you have to work a little more on or you have to pour a little bit more time in. There's always going to be things that are a little bit more uncomfortable. There's going to be things that are a little bit more challenging that you have to work to unlock. You're unlocking different levels of you. But life overall does not have to feel so hard, and it makes you feel like you are stuck surviving and not thriving. And I hope that you watching this video can learn to develop that belief or a similar belief that you feel like is in alignment with you. Life doesn't have to be hard. It gets to be easy. It gets to be easy. It gets to be easy. One thing that I want to say before this episode ends or this video ends is when it's hard to believe something, I want you to look for proof. Always look for proof, even if it's outside of your own life, right? Look outside of your own life. Look for proof where there are people who are doing things in an easier way, who is building businesses in an easier way, who is making money in an easier way, who is having healthier relationships in an easier way, who is at peace with themselves in an easier way. There's always an easier way. You just have to be able to find proof. There's always proof. When you focus on something, if you're believing everything is always hard, you're always going to find proof that life is hard. You are always going to find proof that things are hard. Whatever you focus on, you're going to find proof of that. When you decide to focus on life gets to be easy, you will start finding proof unconsciously that life actually gets to be easy. All right. So that is it for this video. If you guys like this content, make sure you go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. I would really love to hear from you. And until next time, bye.